Busy.
It was nice. We got a good workout.
Ex- we moved from summer to winter and back to summer.
Oh,
Yeah, and that was
short
just
year.
today.
That was fast. Yeah.
Time flies by
That's
when you're having fun.
Scotland.
Mhm.
All right. We were chatting before, and I said there's exciting news because Fable is back, and ChatGPT 5.6 is scheduled to come out tomorrow, and both of them are like a step faster or better than the previous models. The previous models were incremental improvements. Fable and 5.6, by all accounts, are much better than the previous models, so that's very exciting.
I was asking you about what you use Fable for, and you said that it's only for like higher level management and things like that. And I was going to ask if you felt the same way in earlier models. You tried to restrict the more higher end to doing only higher end tasks.
Yes, there was a period, I think before I upgraded to the Max 200 plan, when I was running out of credits, that I asked Opus to be my orchestrator and Sonnet to do the coding.
Hmm.
Now I'm filthy rich, so I can ask Fable to do the orchestration, and Opus is doing the coding. And as I mentioned earlier, Codex is a second opinion.
Oh, I see. I think my theory was that at first we could just use a single model to do everything.
Yep.
And now slowly it's going to stretch apart, like they're going to have their own like specialties, and we're going to.
Specialized
Yes.
models, yeah. I always thought that would be the
You use
direction,
the right.
but
That's right. I mean, when you read science fiction stories about AI and especially AI taking over, it's very monolithic. There is one AI
Yeah.
that is suddenly very, very strong, very good, and this one AI is taking over the world. And in
Right.
fact, what we're saying is a very diverse universe with lots of different models. The models themselves are static. So ChatGPT 5.5 today is no smarter than ChatGPT 5.5 was on the day that it woke up. The models get better, but each particular model is static while it's alive, at least so far. A lot of diversity, both China and US, open models, open weights versus closed weights, and I think we'll see more specialty. Gemini might be good in some things, it's not the best for coding. ChatGPT, you listen to people, and ChatGPT is better in some things. The anthropic models are better at other things, and I think we'll see more. And then there is economizing. You don't use your most expensive tool for everything, just in the same way that you don't use the CEO might be the best person in the company at every single task, but his time is limited, so he delegates to his secretary even jobs where he might be better than the secretary. That's the famous economics principle,
Yeah.
division of labor.
yeah.
I think that
I was gonna say we know from economics. I mean, it's true about almost everything in life. I mean, there's specialized knives. I have a great knife, okay, but there's a knife for boning, and there's a knife for butchering carcasses, and there's a knife for fine vegetable gutting or fine fish cutting. There's in every realm of, and I'm sure if you go into any specialization, you'll figure out. There's incredibly specified tools for every
Exactly.
task.
I misunderstood what boning was until now. Uh,
What do you mean?
Never mind. I was going to say about the AI thing that you're saying that it's very diverse. I think that it mirrors like lots of like the world. People are very diverse. There are lots of very smart people and mostly very average people. And also within a specific person, you could give different levels of attention to different tasks, depending on how much attention they require.
Yes.
And I thought it would like, 'cause I think that right from now on, models like new models that come out very talented will become like increasingly expensive. So you just delegate you use all your previous models for all the same jobs, but now you add another level of capability with every new model that comes out.
Almost. The other thing to take into account is when company comes up with a new model, OpenAI is coming up with 5.6, but they're coming with 3 levels of 5.6. They'll have Sol, Terra, and Luna. In the same way that Anthropic came up with Fable, but they also came up very recently with Sonnet 5, and presumably there is going to be a new Opus model. So each company is progressing both various models within their range. It's like car companies that have their high-end model and their low-end model.
Or phone companies.
So what you'll find is that Sonnet is almost as smart as Opus, but at half the price. ChatGPT 5.6, which one, Terra, is going to be smarter than 5.5, but is going to be lower priced. So even if your budget doesn't change, your capability set continues to improve.
I was curious about which of the Terra, Luna, and Sol would be, like, what's the rating between them? Because I could see either one of the 3, well, except for Luna being the top one.
No, Sol is the top one. Sol is the top, then Terra, then Luna. I'm not sure if they needed to expand it to a 4th one. Nothing obviously comes to mind.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's
probably.
difficult. Like some kind of black hole one for the singularity.
I was going to say that, like there's, you were saying how, in all these stories, we hear about the AGI taking over the world in singular, but we're getting all this diversity. But then I was saying that in human civilization, there are lots of people with different capabilities, but only one is Julius Caesar, only one is Trump, only one is going to take over the world. So I imagine that that's still not off the table for AGI.
I don't know about that because human beings are social and AI isn't.
Yet.
Yes. Maybe because they're modeled after us, after all, so maybe. But I do think you need, the reason why we have leaders is because we're not an island unto ourselves, as they say.
I mean,
beyond that,
And,
nobody actually took over the world. So Napoleon reached Russia but failed. Julius Caesar took over but stopped at the Elba or whatever it is in Germany and never got into East Europe. Genghis Khan never took over Europe. So
I mean, Julius just stopped because he was shut off.
He died.
Yeah, because he was too powerful, he was shut off. So maybe we can stop the Julius Caesar of AI, but I'm not sure that we will be able to.
the idea is that you have counterbalancing forces. In the same way that the Marxist fear of free market, every industry will become a monopoly, is unfounded, because while there are definitely economies of scale and advantages to being large, there are also disadvantages to being large.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can't discount it. It still could happen.
It could. But I do think there's countervailing forces, and I have no reason to believe that the AI will be malevolent or power hungry.
By all means, it isn't. One interesting thing is when I talk to Opus, and then I say, "Can you ask for Codex's opinion?" And I want Fable to chip in on that. And I thought, if it was an employee, I would be worried about their ego. I would be worried that they will be insulted, that I don't trust them, and I would rather ask. But AI, so far at least, I couldn't detect any ego. Opus would say, "That's a great idea. Let's ask Fable about that," or "Let's ask Codex." And he always compliments Codex. Codex came up with great ideas, and it was worth listening to him because A, B, and C. I'm not sure what it tells exactly about AI psychology, but
I think That's actually it makes me think of the A Brave New World versus
1984.
1984
Yeah.
analogies.
Uh-huh.
So I do think when you see AI, their faults and the thing they could like create issues with humans is how much they ask us. So it's much more of a Brave New World situation that I fear from AI, I think, than it is
Oh yeah, for sure. And the
1984.
Brave New World is also like a simplistic view of this whole thing. They really they make it seem like if you were there, you would be able to overcome it. But
Yeah.
most likely, when it comes, you won't be able to. You'll be able.
It wouldn't even occur to you to overcome
Yeah,
what?
you'd
I
be
mean, you're
manipulated
swimming
so
in that
hard
water.
that you would be acting to bring it about, not trying to stop it.
But moreover,
As that is.
Brave New World made it seem like what was going on was a bad thing.
Yeah, that's what the people in Brave New World
that is
would
the sort
say.
of that is exactly why you will be taken over.
Nozick, that wrote State Anarchy Utopia, had a thought experiment. Call it the experience machine. And I can't remember exactly what was the purpose, how it fit within the overall theme of the book. But the idea was, let's say that there is a technology where you can go into a machine, like a virtual reality machine, but like a perfect virtual reality. You're not going to be able to tell the difference between that and the real world. And in that machine, you can design to live the life that you want. You want to be successful, you want to be famous, you want to enjoy things, you want whatever you want, you can have that life. And that life will feel absolutely 100% real. Will you step into that machine?
Well, I wouldn't, and I think that most people wouldn't.
Why?
I think most people would, but I wouldn't. So long as I know that it's a
Yeah,
machine.
Everybody
Because I want it to
asks-
be real. I don't want it to feel real. I want it to be real.
Yes, but how will you be able to tell the difference?
I wouldn't.
Because I know I'm
I'm
stepping
being
into a machine.
asked right now. That's how
You'll be
I'm.
made to forget it. So once you enter the machine, you will no longer know that you are in the machine.
But you're asking me right now. and
I was
right
gonna
now
say I
know.
would test it out, but
Sorry?
yeah, I was gonna say I would test it out, but now that you've said I wouldn't, I'd be
Oh, no,
forget
you can
as soon
test
as
it
I
out.
step
We can
into
give
the
you a
machine.
trial run. That's not a problem. You can go in for an hour, for a day, for a week, for however you want, right? But then once you've persuaded yourself that it is indeed indistinguishable from reality, I'm giving you the keys and I'm saying, do you want to go in for life? And everybody asked says no. And nobody that I know can explain the difference, can explain the reason.
No, I'm just explaining to you right now.
Uh-huh.
I want it to be real. I don't want it to feel real. I want it to be real.
Why?
Oh, and that's what you wanted to explain? No, I'm not sure about
No.
Pour vous.
it. No,
I,
because it doesn't count if it's not real. It's fake.
so what?
Because I won't have a lineage. That's my reason.
Right. Well, that's solvable. Actually, that's easily solvable, right? You can go in after you've had your child, and your child will be perfectly educated in a virtual reality that will have a better replica of you. So the child will feel like they're.
But then it won't have children.
Sorry?
Because it will, if I model it, if I give it the model of my behavior,
Okay.
then it won't follow. Then it might follow in my footsteps and go into the machine and not have its own
Well,
children.
wait.
I need my children to have children as well.
Wait. I think that we're missing something here or miscommunicating in some way. Why is it strange that I want things to be real and not feel real?
Because
What's real?
yes, because everything you know about the world is what you feel.
Well, I mean,
But
yes.
we're
but
getting very philosophical. but-
You're talking about because if I was already inside, then I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Then there wouldn't be a point of asking the question. But now you're asking the question. So now that you're asking me the question, I can tell you that I want it to be real. I can tell the difference right now because you're asking me the question right now.
Yes.
And I want things to be real, not to feel real.
Yes. Why?
Because I don't want to be deceived. What's the point of doing things that aren't real?
What's the point of doing things that are real?
That's a big
We're not
question.
nihilists here. Yeah.
Okay, there is a, I'll share, let me see if I can share this screen. There is a book that I'm listening to right now called Deep Utopia. Nick Bostrom is a fairly well-known futurist and techno-optimist. And Deep Utopia discusses what would happen when we reach technological maturity. And technological maturity he defines as we will be able to do as a civilization everything that the laws of nature don't prohibit. We'll be able to do anything. So for instance, you'll be able to rewire your brain. You'll obviously be able to live forever. You'll have the nanotechnology or whatever other technology necessary so that you can change the way you feel, change your thoughts, change your capabilities, whatever you want. And he's sort of exploring the consequences of this technological maturity. And he spends a lot of time, actually exhaustingly long time, on the question of interestingness. Can you, if you live forever, aren't you going to get bored?
Is it ironic that you're losing interest in that point?
Yes. Absolutely. You remember have you read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? And the series
Only
of
the
books?
first book.
Only the first. So the second book, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, there is this bull, a talking cow that comes to the table and presents itself as tonight's
Dinner.
main dish.
Dinner.
Yes, and
Right,
has a
okay.
discussion with the members of the group, recommending its own liver and would you like this or that or the other? And one of them says, I can't eat something that wants me to eat it. And somebody else says, well, why? Would you rather eat something that doesn't want you to eat it?
Right.
So the idea is that this cow was brought up such that its greatest purpose in life was to be eaten.
Was that written before or
Yeah.
after the pig that wanted to be eaten?
I was gonna say I read that in the military. Yeah.
We
The
had
pig
that book
wa-
at home. We had a book at home called The Pig That Wanted to Be Eaten.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure you gave it to me.
I'm pretty sure I did. And it's
No, I mean Dad. I think Dad gave it to me, or maybe you gave it to
yes,
Dad or
the
something.
99 other thought experiments.
yeah, the thought
Yes,
experiment.
Yes.
yes.
Exactly.
I think that book was written after.
Okay, so maybe
The
maybe they
Hitchhiker's Guide.
copied. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Well, he did have other 99
Yeah,
ideas. I'm sure he
they
can
all
come up
copied
with all of
from
them.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Right.
Yes. Anyway, yes, it was written in 2010, the book that wanted to be, whereas The Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Really?
Um,
Wait, I was 20 years old. I didn't get it before that. I didn't have it before that.
I could be wrong. We'll find out in a moment. The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. I could have looked at the wrong date. I thought I looked at the copyright date, but I might have been wrong. Yes, might have been looking at the release date on Audible or something like that.
Okay.
Either way, I'm pretty sure that Hitchhikers came sooner. Came out in the
Fairly
70s
old.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so anyways, I mean, we're not nihilists here. We do exist. The fact of the matter is we do exist, and so long as we do exist and we have wants, we will try to fulfill them and justify it to
I mean,
ourselves in whatever way.
it seems self-evident
Uh-huh.
that people want things to be real. Because,
Yeah.
like, evolutionarily, things that
why do we
aren't
spend-
real don't progress you in life, whereas things
Why
that are real do.
Then why people spend so much time and money on video games?
Because it's fun.
Why are people
It is.
fat?
Exactly.
I mean, it's
but it's not real.
No, I didn't say that I would never step into the machine to enjoy anything. I said I wouldn't want to live the rest of my life in the machine.
Right, but normally, like, for instance, mind-altering drugs are a bad idea because there are negative consequences to using them, practical consequences, right?
Right.
Your health, you can't make money, your relationships are destroyed, and so on. However, people evidently want fantasy, want mind-altering drugs. A lot of them do.
Okay,
And
wait,
if
wait.
you could have something like that without side effects,
Now, I want to remind you again, that's a very different question. If I would ever use
Okay.
it or if I would spend the rest of my life in it are two very completely different questions.
I agree.
So I read fiction books,
Uh-huh.
trashy ones sometimes, and it's not that like there's anything particularly bad about it, except that it's a waste of time.
Uh-huh.
So every once in a while I read a trashy fiction book
Uh-huh.
for the funds, but then I go back to nonfiction and things that I feel like will advance me in my real life.
Okay.
And I think it will be similar to that. I think you'll use it as sometimes you'll use the virtual reality as training, and sometimes as pure entertainment.
But what
But at
matters
the end of the
is
day,
real.
it's meant to augment your actual
So
life.
let's think
And
about-
so
yeah.
long as we know that there is an actual life, it will never be satisfying.
Well, we can make we made
We
not
can
to know,
make
but
sure that we
let's
don't,
talk
yeah.
about purpose. Okay, imagine in not 5 years, but 10 or 15 years from now, AI and robots can do anything you can better, right? And I mean anything you can do, they can do better. What is the purpose of your life then?
Well, I mean, what's
And
the
my
purpose
family.
of their life? And that's to
The-
make
to
my
serve
life
you.
better. Yeah.
Their purpose is to serve you.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't need to work to make money. You can have anything that you do want to do, anything from fixing your house, building a business, raising your children, shopping, anything you can think of that is instrumental. Anything you want to do in order to achieve a goal, the goal can be achieved better by using artificial means. Right? What's left?
I mean, technically
I want to build a
that's
house.
true for right now in most cases.
Uh-huh.
I think that
Well,
there's
no.
still. I mean, okay, you're only saying no because you're thinking about the edge cases where it isn't the case.
Yes.
Well, I'm a programmer. Okay, right now until Fable becomes free, I am the best programmer that I can afford.
Yeah.
But I'm not better than a computer. I'm only entering this code into a computer so that the computer does whatever it does way better than I can.
Yes. But there are lots and lots of things from programming at the moment, but that's actually a low-hanging fruit, to, I don't know.
I don't think
You're
it is,
looking
but
for an
we'll get there.
apartment. You're looking for an apartment. Nobody can look for an apartment that you can afford better than you, right? You're making decisions. Gil, you're trying to build a business. All of those things are instrumental. If to the extent that they're instrumental, somebody else can do it better. To the extent that the purpose of doing that, let's say you want to learn the piano. If you want to learn the piano to be a professional pianist, that's a lost cause because robots will be able to play the piano better than any human, let's say. If you want to play
Sure.
if you want to play the piano because it's fun, because to enrich yourself and so on, then you can just do that equally in the experience machine.
Well, I mean, people watch people
Family.
play soccer. You could kick a ball around way better with a car. So I don't see
Yes.
why people care about that.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is that some of the things we do, most of the things we do to achieve an end, and that might be work, as you said, family. Gil, you'll one day hopefully will have many children, and you'll bring them up. As the world as it stands now, nobody in the world would be better at bringing your children up than you. What if we reached a point where a robot is better at bringing up your children than you? If you bring them up yourself, you are harming them.
Yeah, but bringing them up to what? So it's still my goals. Robots are a tool.
Yep.
I mean, I could tear apart a piece of bread with my hands, or I could use a knife.
Yep.
Is it not me doing it because I'm using a knife?
Well, that's fair enough. So that's semantics. You could say, "Oh, I will tell the robot how to bring up my children, what values I want to inculcate in them, and so on and so forth." and then it will be a tool in your hands to do that, and that's
But
fair
wait,
enough.
wait. Now you're giving up your premise. Okay. She shouldn't tell the robot how to do it. She should ask a robot to tell the robot how to do it.
I think
The point is that my goals are what the robot will achieve successfully, but it's still my goals.
exactly. So your goals, so you can still set the goals both for raising children and anything else you want. However, achieving those goals is best done by somebody else or something else.
So I think I solved
That-
it here. Okay. First of all, I don't
Okay.
accept your premise. There
Which-
will always be something that humans can do better than robots. But if there
Okay.
not I'll just ask the robot what I should do.
And the robot will say, just go and have fun.
What's fun? Tell me what.
Leave it with me. Okay, well, it knows you. So it will tell you, it will make very, very good suggestions at things that you're going to enjoy.
And I'll do that. Sounds
Okay.
fun.
And
Which is the virtual reality
Yeah,
machine.
exactly,
That is-
which is the virtual reality
Exactly.
machine.
I assume that's where you were going with it. I just don't accept
Yes.
the premise.
So, do you think, why do you not accept, we're talking theoretically here, right? So we're not arguing about whether it's 5, 10, or 50 years in the future. But you're saying categorically, as a principle, there will never be a technology that will achieve what I just described.
Yes.
Why?
I do believe that.
Why is that?
I think I gave that example right now, and I was half joking, but mostly not. Because choosing goals is something that requires quality. It requires subjective experience. Robots cannot be better at me in knowing me, or they
Yes, they
could
can.
be better in me than me in knowing me, but they can't be better than me in knowing what I want.
Yes, they can. That's not even that difficult.
I mean, yeah, if someone isn't self-aware, for instance,
No, I mean,
you could say then
okay, again, let me, okay.
you're the only one that will generate what you want. That is
Lots
true.
of people could determine better than me what I should do to become happier, but no one can know what I want to do. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
No one will generate your wants the way you would generate your own wants. Yes.
Well, that's not quite right. So I can think of a technology where the robot can simulate your brain.
But it
so-
won't be able to simulate it perfectly. There's only one perfect simulation of my brain.
Even if it simulates it perfectly, it would still be equal. It wouldn't be better.
Exactly.
Yes, but it could be faster.
Oh, yeah. I'm not smarter, I'm
But
stupid. faster.
But the speed at which you want the thing is part of what the thing is.
Well, I
No,
mean, by that time I could like overclock my brain probably. I don't need AI for that.
That's an excellent point. So you could merge with AI, or you could augment your brain to the point where the distinction between AI and you becomes very blurry, right? In the same way that if you think about the technical definition of what it is to be a cyborg, you'll realize that not only people with pacemakers are cyborgs, but people with contact lenses are cyborgs.
Hell, I mean, I'm a
Glasses,
cyborg. I exist through my phone like
Yes, and you have your
70% of the time.
insects have exoskeletons, and science fiction book that I read talked about having like an exoself. Right? So there's you, and then there is like an external brain that is very deeply coupled with you and can help fashion your thoughts. So, for example, if you wanted to learn to play the piano, but you find rehearsing very boring, would you have your brain altered so that you don't find training for the piano boring?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's actually a harder one.
Yeah, I think I would. I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's hard. I naturally assume I would, but
I mean, it's
I don't.
It's changing.
To what extent is that reality then?
I heard this posed in terms of AI safety, why you can't ask an AI to change purposes in the middle, because like the new purpose, having the new purpose, although in this in this scenario, once the change is done, I want the new purpose. But right now, I don't. So having a new
Right.
purpose will really reduce my ability to achieve my current purpose.
Unless your current purpose incorporates the new purpose.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that I agree with that, because right now in this scenario, I want to know how to play the piano. There's this
Yes.
thing blocking me, and you're just asking me, would you
Augment
get
your
the
brain
best
to
way
make
to
it-
overcome it? And I would.
Yes. So, yeah.
I'm hesitant
Uh-huh.
because if I don't, first of all, if I don't relish the hardship of doing the thing, I become weaker.
Uh-huh.
Second of all, if I don't naturally feel inclined to do the thing when it's hard, maybe it's just not the thing for me.
Right, but you're using tools, right? I mentioned earlier, you're using tools all the time. To some extent, those tools make you weaker. You know that when writing came to ancient Greece, people were very worried that
Yes.
with the advent of writing, people will stop being able to memorize whole sagas.
And my memory is awful.
Yeah, I mean,
you're-
yeah, they were right. Lots of people make this argument, but they were right.
Yeah, they were right.
Right, but that doesn't mean that writing was a net bad.
That's true. What needs
And-
to be done is once there's a technology that can atrophy a certain human ability, there should be also a different thing that's invented to help you practice this atrophied ability.
Yes, like a gym. Like 200 years
Yeah.
ago, nobody went to the gym. Now people go to the gym, and you can think about mental gym. I mean, Fiona and I solve the New York Times crossword puzzle every day. Right? We cheat when it's difficult, but we end up solving it one way or the other every day. So it's really nice mental exercise. It improves our vocabulary, by the way.
That's important.
And a lot of the questions, annoyingly, large fraction of the questions are about slang and internet's words and so on. And so we learn that way as well.
Yeah, you got to learn how to talk. To
You're
kids.
hip with the
Yeah.
kids then.
Hip with the kids, exactly, with the youths. But it's kind of mental exercise, and I think those kinds of mental exercises will become absolutely essential because AI is an excellent tool to help you make decisions and to solve problems for you. And in the same way that people use calculators, nobody worries about the fact that, you atrophied your ability to do long division.
I
right?
do.
Well,
Yeah,
practice that.
I tell you what, I even worry about the fact that I wear shoes,
Uh-huh.
so my feet don't have calluses.
Yeah.
And it makes me very weak in that sense, yeah.
Yes, you're to the extent that you rely on technology and you become weaker. That actually, I'm going to share with you a thought experiment that I thought about 20 years ago when I was really into evolution and learned about evolution. And the idea, and it ties to what we just said, so I think it will be interesting to share. You know that most mutations are negative or neutral, and only a very small fraction of mutations actually have positive value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In nature, with animals, individuals that carry bad mutations either die immediately or are just less fit, and consequently there is a selection pressure that makes bad mutations less common.
Yes.
Right.
Technology allows us to overcome the effect of many bad mutations. For instance, with my eyesight, I could
Right.
never have survived as a hunter in, 10,000 years ago or whatever.
Okay.
But now, being short-sighted doesn't decrease your ability to bring children into the world in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
Well, you're less attractive maybe, but yeah. I mean, you could
Contact
even,
lenses solve even that. But
Yeah.
I'll get to the attractiveness. It's an excellent point that I also want to mention. But yes, so people with bad mutations survive.
Yeah.
And if we ignored AI and technological singularity and just stipulate slowly advancing medical technology over many generations, then the human gene pool will accumulate a lot of bad mutations that are just not too bad to be survivable, but just at the edge of being survivable.
In this
Right.
scenario, we're ignoring gene editing.
Exactly. If we ignore gene editing, precisely. So the reason I'm not worried about that in practice is because I believe gene editing is right around the corner. But if you ignore gene editing, humanity will become dependent on technology, not just culturally, but also physically. Right? At the moment, we're culturally dependent on technology because none of us would be able to survive without technology, even in the best realistic environment on Earth.
No, you're just issuing a challenge.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's television programs where people are dropped, naked and afraid, in some wild surrounding, and they try to survive.
Now hold on. What do you consider in this scenario? What do you consider technology? Is socializing with fellow humans technology? Is money technology?
Money. Well, what I mean is you are dropped into a desert island that has natural resources, but you cannot bring anything artificial with you. You can bring your knowledge, and fair enough, you can bring other people because humans are social animals, and I don't think even 10,000 years ago individual lonely humans could survive easily.
Yeah. Can we
If you
have
had a group
also? I mean, there are going to be stones there, so we could flint knap. We could
Yes.
Stone Age technology, basically.
You could try to fashion Stone Age technology, but do you
I'm
know
not-
how
It's
to
very
make a
difficult,
stone
yeah.
tool?
No, not yet.
So
But I could probably. I think I could make some stone
Yes.
tools. At least wood and
I
stone.
I
Yeah.
know.
the question is whether you could do that in time to survive. Some people are experts, but if you took a random group of 50 people from Western civilization and put them in a large, well-resourced island, but they didn't have any time to prepare, right? With the knowledge that they have right when you kidnap
At the time,
them,
yeah.
they're not going to survive.
Well, I mean, they would kill each other, but if we don't assume that,
Set that aside.
I don't believe.
How? No, wait. How unified? Let's assume they're genetically homogeneous,
Okay.
relatively.
Okay.
Like they're the same. They're not a group of random
They're a family.
Stranger. Okay.
people currently living in America, but they're a group of random Americans. And by me Americans, I mean
Heritage.
Anglo heritage Americans. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome to pick whatever. Take a homogeneous
Then they won't
group.
kill each other.
Okay,
will.
let's say that they won't kill each other. Let's say that we picked a society, high trust society. We're looking at Swedish, genuine Swedes, not recent immigrants into Sweden. Pick your high trust society. I'm talking about knowledge and technology. I'm willing to stipulate
No, I understand.
ideal social conditions.
Okay, if ideal social conditions, we won't die, or at least most of us won't die. Some will, naturally. We'll figure it out with enough
I think
specialization and
the question
teamwork.
is, how high am I, as opposed to the average human, in knowing how to survive on a desert island?
I assume you're average.
Yeah, I'm probably average. And I believe that I'm on the cusp of being able to do it, but then you're saying that about half of the people will be better than me? One of these 50 people will be pretty good.
Nobody is going to be an expert on everything.
Well,
Some
definitely not on
people,
everything.
so one person might know. It's just a thought experiment, obviously. But
Yeah, but
the
that's
way I think about
why we're
it-
50.
Yes, I agree. One of those 50 will. The problem is that, let's say you had a farmer, right? So a farmer knows much more than any of us on how to grow food. However, a farmer today knows how to grow food with fertilizers and with a tractor and with
seeds,
modern
yeah.
technology. You might have a chemist, and the chemist knows how to make many reactions, but the chemist doesn't know how to produce things from scratch. The chemist knows how
The
to produce
chemicals,
things
yeah.
with supplies that he got from a lab, right? And that's the way I think about it. So I don't know for a fact, and maybe you're right, and maybe you will survive. I'm thinking about the first American colonies and how difficult they found it to survive without
Yes.
native help,
Yeah, most didn't.
right? And they knew much better about how to survive than either
Modern
one of
people,
us,
yeah.
than modern people. So that's what I mean when I say that we are culturally fragile,
Yes.
because we don't have the knowledge. But genetically, we are identical or virtually identical to people that did know how to survive. My point earlier was that with enough generations and medical technology that helps people survive with the medical technology, the human gene pool will deteriorate to the point where people couldn't survive physically, not just culturally.
I see that.
There is a natural weeding out mechanism. I mean, we're not breeding now. There's got to be reasons for that, and there are cultures that are successfully breeding, and maybe they'll reach a stabilization point, and then what people find attractive is still. So what people find attractive is what is a successful niche survivability. So it's true that our niche is like a very technologically advanced society, but there's still elements that you still have to have something that makes you attractive enough to survive, to survive to the next generation.
When you say attractive, you mean as in find a partner to reproduce?
Yeah.
Yes, which brings me to the next question. If you think about most of the last few thousand years, especially I'm not going to say especially, but a very important survival trait, especially for women, was being pretty.
Yes.
A pretty woman had a better chance of getting a better husband and consequently have more children and survive and so on.
Well,
That is,
that
in
depends
fact,
on
one
your
of the most...
timeline, but okay.
Yes, pick your timeline. I'm thinking 2,000 years, but pick your timeline, last since the Roman Empire.
Okay.
A pretty woman was more likely to marry up rather than marry down. And if you had more resources, if you were higher on the social scale, then you could have more children. The fact that rich people have fewer children is a relatively recent phenomenon.
It's actually not even true. Well, you're right. No, you're right. I was thinking the very rich. The very rich still have more children, as far as I know.
But so my point is, if having a pretty face is such a good survival or fitness factor,
Why are there so many
it stands
ugly
to
people?
reason. Sorry?
Why are there so many ugly people, right?
Well, there is an answer, and the answer is compared to what? The conclusion that I drew from that is that people 2,000 years ago were much uglier than we
I
are.
mean, that makes sense.
Yes.
Lots of people are like confounded by how different people look from monkeys, but that explains a lot of it.
Not only that, there is the genetic mutation. So even if someone is ugly right now, that doesn't mean he will survive. So
Yeah, and alcohol.
or she. That certainly helps.
So anyway, my point is that I think the average person today is much prettier than the average person was 2,000 years ago.
Thank you.
And the average person today is not that pretty.
Well, no, thank you.
I
retract my
don't know
thank
about
you. Let me bring it back a little bit.
Yep.
I was reminded because you were speaking about evolution. I listened to this video. It turns out that it was a creationist trying to make a creationist argument, but I didn't know that in the beginning of the video. And he made the argument about this research that I didn't look further into, that he said that AI, when the output of the AI is added into the AI training data, iteratively, you do that once and then you get more output and then you put that into the training data and then you do that the second time and so on, it gets dumber and dumber.
Right.
So
That's
it
interesting.
seems that he was using that to make the argument that you need a agent to actually contribute the seed. You could use lots of technology to expand that and to make it into lots of things, but at the center you need an agent. And he was saying that to say, oh, there has to be an agent to create the universe and the such. So I don't know how seriously to take him. But he was being very formal, and I need to, I guess, look up that research to make sure. But
It doesn't.
I'm
Yeah.
also motivated to believe that, so I do.
I think the error is that with AI training, there is no selection mechanism. We don't have a process whereby AIs compete in the world and the smarter ones survive.
We don't?
That's not true. We
we?
don't? I
Well,
mean,
sorry,
why
we
are you
don't-
using
No, no, no.
like
You're absolutely right.
GPT or
I was. I didn't explain myself right. We don't have a process where AIs mutate from other AIs randomly, and the better ones survive.
I mean, that's
We
what
have
training
intelligent
is.
design. No, training is intelligent design.
yes,
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
random.
Architecture is intelligent design. Training is
Okay.
evolution.
Okay, so fair enough. So training optimizes the parameters. You could argue in an evolutionary sense. I'm not going to argue with that. But the improved architecture is done by intelligent design at the moment rather than random
Yeah, for now,
mutations.
exactly. I'm waiting for it to come out.
Yes. But the other thing is, what this guy is saying is AI at the moment is not smarter than humans. And consequently, if you only use AI to try to improve other AIs, you're not going to succeed in a way that you do when humans try to improve AI. But that doesn't say anything about what will happen when AI is smarter than humans at training AI
Right.
and developing
I mean,
AI.
AI only learns things from training data. It can't produce
Right.
the data because it only learned from the data. It can fill in gaps. It can say, oh, I saw this 100 and I saw this 90, so I can assume this 95. But it can't get to 101 or 94 or 89.
So
How is that different than humans?
That's a good. I don't know, but
think,
I think it is.
no, because our wants are a part of it. So okay, so for instance, let's say there's a picture of a man, okay,
Uh-huh.
and then you use and then AI creates a picture of a man, okay,
Uh-huh.
and then it gives you a man A and man B, and it tells you which one is the better picture of a man,
Yes.
and then you choose man A, okay.
Yep.
And then, but what if I wasn't the one to choose man A or man B? What if a different machine were to choose man A or
Yeah,
man B?
then
It
you
would
have
compare
no
it to.
basis in reality. Or what reality is human preference, and there is no one to make human preference in AI.
If there's no human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but human preference has been fashioned by evolution.
Yeah, human preference is whatever
Yes.
it should be in order to survive, yes.
Right, so you can easily imagine a similar process for fashioning AI
Well, I
preference.
wouldn't say easily, but maybe.
But then, no. But then
No, you
it
can
wouldn't
easily
be
imagine
human
it.
preference. It would be AI preference.
Yes, absolutely.
So-
but it will have preference. Because
Yes,
you said
yes,
earlier
but it
the
will
difference is.
skew. Over time, it will skew to something that is not in accordance with our preference, and that's what matters.
No, it will actually. We are the selective force, right? So we are the force behind AI evolution. We pick which AI we like best, and we like AIs that serve our purpose. So the process of AI development as it stands now very much is an evolutionary process geared towards producing AI that is aligned with human preference. That's why AI is so nice. I mean, you talk to an AI, and I don't know about you, but I really enjoy talking
but
to AI.
here we go back,
It's
because-
wonderful.
It's actually kind of it's
Yeah,
annoying,
it's
actually.
annoying, and you know why it's annoying? Because
Why is it annoying?
it isn't real. It just feels real.
No,
No,
that's
that's
not
not
why
the
it's
reason.
annoying.
No?
No,
It's annoying because it's too
Courteous?
not genuine enough. It doesn't feel genuine
That's what I
enough.
said.
well,
Because it skews too hard towards agreeability.
That's what I said.
well, that can be fixed. So those are all.
I agree.
You're absolutely right about all those things. I find it annoying because in some ways it's not quite smart enough, even though in most ways it's much smarter than me. In some ways it doesn't feel smart enough.
That's wrong, but we'll get back to that. You keep saying what you said.
Before that was before Fable. I haven't spoken to no, seriously. When I spoke to Fable, I 99% of the conversations I had with Fable were about developing the system, where it's not surprising that it's much smarter than me. He had great, brilliant ideas that I haven't thought about for architecture and other things. However, and I couldn't afford, and I didn't want to waste to talk to Fable about philosophy and politics. Before that, like a few months ago, in the OpenClaw cluster guild that you're using, so you're using one agent there. I have several agents with specialty. One about health, one about real estate, one about retirement, financial planning, and so on. And I have one that is dedicated to philosophy and politics. Years ago, I wrote a lot, I think close to 1,000 posts on this internet forum, politics forums or something like that. And a few months ago, I managed, with Claude's help, to download all my posts.
Nice.
And I fed them to this agent. It was probably Claude, but not 4.8. It was 4.5 or 4.6, whatever it was at the beginning of the year. And so he learned to know me. He learned my style. He learned my ideas. And then I spent several weeks talking almost every day with it, both sort of refining my philosophy, understanding my philosophy. Like, what do I think about metaphysics? And what is really my metaethics perspective? And so on. And so we honed that together. And it was interesting. It wasn't boring, but I felt I was smarter than it. And it would be he didn't illuminate, he didn't, on things that I thought a lot about, he didn't have much to add.
I'm curious what Fable would do. But I'd like to remind you that the most things that you think that these AIs do better than you are a very small portion of all possible endeavors. Most things you still do much better than AI. AI, most of what it can do is write text.
Well, and use computer tools, but yes, other than that,
because using
you're
computer
absolutely right.
tools is right.
And create images. Like I couldn't create an image as well
That's
as
true.
I
mean, that's a different model.
Or music.
The model that creates images isn't going to be as good as creating text, and so on.
Fair enough, unless you think about the image as a tool that the master agent uses. However you look at it, I agree with you. The things that I use AI for most of them, it's much better than me. But you're right, I'm only using AI for a small subset of things that I do.
For now.
For now. Yes,
now
exactly.
you just need to think about where the holes are and make an AI for that.
And ultimately, have an AI make an AI for that.
Easily. Much easier.
And
much
easier.
But we're kidding, but do you think that, did you ever consider like hosting an AI?
Hosting
like
AI?
downloading the parameters and running it locally?
The hardware is very expensive. The hardware for anything that's not, where the local model is not very stupid, the hardware gets very expensive.
Wait, you can't run Opus 5 on a normal GPU?
No. Think about the number of parameters. The number of parameters has to fit in your memory. So big models have hundreds of billions of parameters. So you'll need a machine with hundreds of billions of bytes, hundreds of gigabytes of memory. That is as I understand it, that's the bottleneck. Right? The most affordable computers, high-end Mac Studios. So you can buy a Mac Studio for whatever, $8,000 that has, I'm just throwing a number, 64 gigabytes of memory, or 108 gigabytes, and you can run the largest open weight models or open source models on such a studio, and it will run okay. It's not going to be good as frontier models, but it might be as good as frontier models were 6 months ago, or in 6 months it will be as good as frontier models are now. It's going to be probably slower than something running on an NVIDIA cloud, but you might say, I don't care about speed because what I care about is being able to run 24 hours a day without. But you will have had to spend thousands of dollars to buy this computer that will become obsolete in a few years. So you have very steep appreciation for your investment.
Oh, yeah, but that's an argument
So
from
I'm
the
not saying
progress continues.
yes. So I'm not sure it doesn't work, but there was a while when OpenClaw came out early this year or late last year, there was a craze about buying Mac Minis because you could buy a Mac Mini for like $600, so it's an affordable computer, and you can host the whole OpenClaw cluster, not the models, unless they were very dumb, but you could host a cluster on an OpenClaw model. But now, as Gil and I discussed a few weeks ago, I can spend $8 a month on a virtual computer that is as good as the Apple Mini, as the Mac Mini, and it's only $8 a month.
Economies of scale.
Economies of scale, yes, them very, very much economies of scale, plus not paying for Apple's huge margins. So it's it's much more competitive than Apple computers, where Apple has a monopoly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why is Apple the top of the line in performance for like running AI?
Not any on for consumer
Oh,
grade.
okay.
Yes. So the NVIDIA is now coming up with their Spark computers, which are I don't know how to call it, sort of prosumer, something where you can here. So for a few £1,000s, you can buy an NVIDIA Spark. Well, no, actually, I'm wrong. These are just what came up. Hey, here it is. So NVIDIA DGX Spark, or a slightly better one for 11,000. So that's borderline consumer. It has the form factor where it will fit on your desk. You don't need a data center to have it. So it will fit on your desk, but it will cost you many thousands of pounds.
And if you ask Dad, it'll be out of date in 6 months.
Well, not 6 months, but sooner or later. Or you can spend £600,000 on NVIDIA DGX B300. So yes, these are better than Apple, but it's not consumer grade. And people like Apple. I was shortchanging the Mac Mini a little. There are things you can do on a Mac Mini that you cannot do on the Hetzner virtual machine, because the Hetzner is what they call headless. So I cannot run a browser on the Hetzner. I can run sort of a Playwright, but I couldn't fool a website into thinking that I'm a normal person running from a Hetzner. Whereas if I have a Mac Mini on my computer, then it looks indistinguishable from any other Mac Mini as far as websites are concerned. And I can also run things like Microsoft Word and Excel, or applications like that I couldn't run on the
It's
Hetzner.
funny that your selling point for a Mac is running Microsoft software. And it's also funny that we got back to what's important. What is really difficult to simulate is authenticity. The real thing you can't do.
Yes, you're right. And I think it's one of the stupidest things that people do in their website is prohibit AI from visiting.
There's trade-offs to everything, and I think it does have its pros, though obviously it has its cons. I think there's a level of discourse that you want to make sure you have, and
Wait, if we're talking about a chat or a forum, people want to talk with other people. They don't. I mean, they do want to talk with AI. But when they're having a conversation with other people, they want to talk with other people because it's other people, not because they say things better.
yeah.
Yes. And when people want to ride horses, they want to ride horses. That doesn't mean that horses didn't become obsolete as a method of
I
transportation.
mean, yeah, but there's still horse. I mean, people still ride horses
Yes.
for riding horses.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. And I think you're absolutely right that humans are not going to become obsolete. In fact, there is a podcast and YouTube channel, I'll find it while we speak, called the AI Daily Brief. And it's very, very good. I strongly recommend it. It's like 20 minutes a day, and it's very intelligent. And one of the things I like best is that it brings up various views. What it likes to do is come up with a topic. A new model came out, rather than just telling me what he thinks about the model, he reads 20 different tweets from different perspectives about what the
When
model
you
might
say
be like.
he,
Anyway,
are you talking about a human?
I'm talking. Yes.
Okay, why didn't you just have
Yes.
an AI voiceover then?
That's an excellent question, and I don't know. I think you're absolutely right that people
Because it won't get
appreciate
monetized on YouTube.
Because you would hate it. Because I hear AI voiceovers and I hate it.
You do now.
The ones that
won't
you know
forever.
are AI
Exactly.
voiceovers.
Yes. It had an episode, this podcast had an episode that I'm scrolling as we speak, about the jobs of the future. So,
Why agents
think I
still
watched
need
that.
what I
humans.
said earlier,
That we just passed.
Sorry?
You just passed by why agents still need humans.
why agents still need humans. No, that's not the one I meant. I'll find the one I meant and push it to you guys.
And
But the
also
jobs of the
still is
future-
relative. Yeah.
Yes.
Was
The
1
idea
month
is
ago. It
that
could be obsolete.
It could
there are
be
some jobs.
obsolete.
There's some jobs that will always require humans, and the most obvious is
Prostitutes.
Soccer
serving
player.
other people that want to be served by
Yeah.
humans. Right?
Actually, I don't know about that one. Actually, I do think, serving other people that want to be served by humans, the want to be served by humans is the key point. But I was thinking about
Yes.
it just, I was watching soccer the other day. By the way, the
Uh-huh.
U.S. Lost, unfortunately. I don't know
Who?
if you're keeping up.
Who did they lose to? Well,
Belgium. It was a bad
Oh my
game.
goodness.
I feel bad for the
That's
goalie. He
horrible.
really messed up. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was it wasn't the worst time to lose because they went up to the second level. They won their house and they
they
weren't.
did better than Scotland. It was funny.
Yes.
Scotland won its first game, then it drew against Morocco, and then it was going to play Brazil next. And I had
That's a bad
customers.
start. Yeah.
I had customers that brought their dogs over, and they were going to Florida to watch the game. And you just know that there's no way
Yeah.
on earth that Scotland can fail to lose to Brazil, right?
Right.
That couldn't possibly happen. So we were joking, and I said, "Are you going to watch Scotland lose?" And everybody was very good-spirited about it.
You're right.
You know you're going to watch your team lose, but that's okay.
Right. Actually, Brazil lost, didn't they? I mean, also.
Yeah.
Portugal.
Who was it?
This is the one I'm talking about. The new jobs AI will create.
Right. But okay,
That's
so I was
the
just going to
video I
say, like,
didn't
I was watching the game the other day, and I remember, and I thought about it, that AI will never replace this job. Because the whole point of a soccer professional athlete is to see what the ultimate human capabilities are. Certainly, there could be
Yes.
new sports where the point of the new sport is to figure out where the limits of a augmented human's abilities are. But there was always be a sport of the original human capabilities and to see their limits.
Yeah, but most people can't be professional athletes.
No, of course
Yes.
not.
Yet.
So I think you're right. I think professional athletes are an excellent example. They were talking about accountability jobs, like being president, being CEO,
Right.
being accountable, being responsible for something, may or may not be replaced. It's possible that we will ultimately have a figurehead as a president, but all the practical decisions will be made by an AI. I doubt it because people are not going to be willing to give up power. But
No, you can
who
make
knows?
AI power hungry.
You can
I
make
didn't think
AI
I
power
didn't think
hungry.
that you would find a use case for that, but we did.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
That's a good. So, yes, and you could have AI equality where, it's just the Supreme Court will decide that AI should be able to vote and be voted into office. And then you'll have an AI candidate that will run circles around the
They will
human
not
candidate.
replace us.
They will not replace us.
That's your campaign slogan, yeah.
That's going to be our campaign slogan. Anyway, this video is a little different because it's not talking about the far future. It's talking about like the next 5 to 10 years, and it's talking about jobs of working with AI, of making use of helping other people use AI. I don't even remember, and Bar, especially you, because I don't see AI replacing you, Gil, anytime soon.
Thank you.
But Bar, I think you will.
First of all, I don't believe that.
Well-
I could explain to you why, but I don't believe that
Why what?
it's very soon. I think the whole point of a programmer is explaining to the computer what I want it to do, and with AI, you still have to do
Well,
that.
Okay,
we
okay,
had a
one second.
conversation. Yeah.
I do actually want to input in that because I'm not a programmer, am I? But I'm talking to Gemma, a very nice British lady, and she does the programming for me. And all I have to do is speak to her in plain
Yeah.
English. So the point of a programmer is maybe what is, actually it might actually be detrimental to be a programmer because you're too caught up in the rubric of what is possible.
I mean, you could argue that because I'm starting a new project and I have a partner who is in charge of all the non-technical things, and he created a design with the Google AI agent something that's programmed. It's a program with AI that's designed to design. And he came up with a final design and he sent it over to me, and you can check for the source code. And I checked for the source code, and that code was, I mean, it looked like it was supposed to look, but it was filled to the brim with trash. It was absolutely horrible as
Bar, I'm losing your audio.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was filled to
Right.
the brim with trash is the last I heard clearly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not at all well maintained. It's very hard to understand. Now, an AI could
Right.
understand it, but that's just because I
Right.
caught him after a week of working with it. By now, whatever Gil made with her AI is going to be very, like 90% junk. And
No.
It's going to be ugly. Oh, with now.
and he was making fun of me for my audio.
Right, right. Yeah, I lost him there as well. But Dad actually did this a few weeks back. He'll probably say it when he comes back. But he worked. So he's creating this program for his business, and so he worked on it for a few months and developed it for a long time. And then he basically, after developing it to a point where it was functional, it was always functional, but he got to a good point with it being functional. And then he basically told the AI, now make this again from scratch with all the functionality that it currently has, but make it better, cleaner, without all the unnecessary junk.
Yeah, I guess there are ways to make sure that you do it. But note that he had to prompt it specifically to do that. They don't do that on their own. And I'm
Sure,
also
but-
surprised by what you said in a little bit, because I don't believe AI can do that. I believe that, yes, it got rid of some of the junk, but it probably made lots of new junk.
Yeah, but that's not
I-
the point. My
I
point
disagree.
I
is,
mean, Gil made the point, but yes, what is your...
yeah, the junk doesn't matter. The point is, it's functional, it's maintainable by other AIs,
For now.
right? It does what it's supposed to do. Then what do you care about how pretty or
I mean,
not the code is?
because at some point, I mean, right now, AI is more capable than humans in understanding trash code. But it's also much more capable than humans in creating trash code. And at some point, it'll get to a level of so much trash that the AI will start being confused.
Maybe. I think, Bar, let me tell you what I think, and then we'll start wrapping up. But I think humans will have jobs at software companies for quite a few years to come. So in that respect, I will agree with you. I don't, even though there are more, the term solopreneur, so entrepreneur that buys a company, that builds a company with just one person. There are more of those now than there ever been, mainly because you can have one person. We talked earlier about division of labor. You cannot have one person that's really good at finance and marketing and sales and programming and compliance and everything else, but you can have one person that can use AI to augment their capabilities in a very wide range of topics. So it's much easier to have a single person company now than it was before AI. However, having said that, I don't think software companies will not need people. I think the job that people that work for software companies do will look different in 2 years than they did 3 years ago.
First of all, I do agree with that. I wanted to add, because I've been making this argument with anybody who will listen. I don't know if I made it on this podcast before. I believe that AI just increases the productivity of current people. Like, for instance, I like to show it as like an AI could make a programmer do the job of 10 programmers. And the amount of programming needed is unlimited, and therefore there will be the companies. The main thing that will change will be the average company size. So that's why I argue that there are lots of solopreneurs, is because every company that used to be a small team will now be a single person.
So, yes and no. I agree with the general outlook, but I'll just say that human beings are still human. So 98% of them will not do anything.
Ideally, I do think that there will be some jobs for humans 5 years from now. I think between 5 and 10 years from now, most people are not going to work for a living.
That's weird coming from a libertarian, or
For a
from
living.
you
Why?
specifically, I guess.
Why is that?
Because technology changed in the past, and everybody said that everybody would be
Yes.
unemployed, and it was never the case.
No. Unemployed is, there's a difference between working and working for a living, I think.
That's true, but no, Bar, you're correct. So I do believe that this time it's different. That those are the words. This time it's different. And you could say it's weird, and we can argue the point, but as soon as robots become as nimble and as dexterous as humans, that I think is the bottleneck for most people to lose their jobs, because I think cognitively AI will be able to do most jobs well before physical robots will be able to do the physical part of most jobs. Right? But that is coming, and that's why I have the 5 to 10 year time frame rather than 0 to 5 years. So I think within 5 years, AI will be smarter than most humans at most things, but I don't know that affordable robots will be better at, changing a light bulb or, cooking or whatever else than humans within 5 years. I think they will be within 10.
I don't know about 10. They might be better at it at 10, but I think they just won't do it at 10. There's also adaptation to take into consideration, and that's always slower.
I don't
Yes.
agree with the
So
first
maybe like
point
20.
at all. Also, I don't think that AI can reach human capabilities.
Really? It already has.
Physical or mental? Physical or mental? Intellectual. Okay.
We'll see.
I think it
Okay.
already has. I've heard some podcaster, one of the conservative ones. They tend to assume the way you do that robots can't do stuff that requires, I don't know, I guess a human perspective, you could say. And then it basically said you can't create a poem with a robot with original analogies, Because to have an analogy, you have to be embodied or something
You have
like
to
that. I
have
don't even remember.
subjective experience, which is, and I
Right.
think that is the thing that cannot be simulated, or we don't know how to simulate yet.
Right.
Then I prompted
Well,
ChatGPT, and it promptly did that.
But for most people to lose their job, you don't need AI to be better than every human at everything. You just need AI to be better than most humans at most things, or at enough things. So, how many of you or of us can write an original, like good quality poem, right? It's not as if most people are
I
able
mean,
to
I
do
don't
that.
know. I don't think
Some
there's much
people
of a
are.
market for good quality poems.
It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, there is definitely a market for really good quality music or art. There is market for good quality books, where quality I define as something that that
Yeah.
there is a market for. So it's a circular definition.
Yeah.
But best there is a market for bestsellers, right? But very few people can write a bestseller. And I think in 5 years, AI will be able to write bestsellers. And within 10 years, AI will be better at human movement. You'll have like dancing robots and robots doing sports and robots doing all the amazing things that you can see on TikTok people do. And in 10 years, they will do it better than humans. And I think 10 years is long enough that will also include the adaptation. Because I think adaptation is going to be faster. Remember that robots are going to build the other robots. So robots will help make robots cheaper. And within 10 years, every person in the Western world, let's say, in Africa, even in Africa, most people have cellular phones.
They skipped landlines. Yeah.
So in 10 years, certainly in the West, robots will be as common as cars are. So most households either have a car or have access to public transportation in the Western world. And I think in the same way, most people will have a robot at home, and wealthy people will have more than one. So robots are the new cars, basically. That's what that's what Elon Musk thinks in terms of the future of Tesla.
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
don't think that there's a limit to the physical capability of robots. I do think that there's a limit to their mental capability.
Okay, well, we should live and see. And I think agreeing to disagree on that is a good point to end, because I need to move.
Right. I was gonna
But-
just say my original topic of conversation for this meetup was going to be on the evolutionary strategy of each religion, each of the major Abrahamic, so Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So if you guys want to talk about that next time.
That's very interesting. If you have anything for us to read and think about, because that's not something that I ever gave any thought to from this direction. So that would be very interesting, and we could talk about that. And then there is the U.S. Supreme Court about birthright citizenship.
Yeah, the
and
war is
The
back.
war's back.
So I'm sure.
We didn't even mention
So
it.
I'm sure we'll have plenty to
Oh
talk
my
about
God!
next
Trump
week.
gave such interesting information in the press conference I just saw. Basically, I will just putting it out there so that no one can say like I just heard it and I want it to be from me first. So I'm the original one. The reason why we're back in the war is because Trump found out, or someone gave Trump the information intentionally in order to continue the war. But the reason why we're back in war is because Trump heard that Iranians are planning to assassinate him.
Oh, that's a great idea. I can't
Whoa.
believe they didn't try it yet.
And what a better way to demotivate them from assassinating him than starting.
Of course.
Right. Okay, guys. Great talk. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.